Good morning. Welcome back to Bible and Blues. It is Friday. I don't know if you have plans for the weekend, um, but this week I found out Wednesday that I am playing for the first time. I'm going to be playing my guitar at church with the worship team. Um, and then the songs. I look at the song list, and these are songs I've never heard. Some I've heard. Dry Bones I've heard a little bit of this. I've heard a little bit of that. I've heard, but one of them is an old hymn, which there are thousands of old hymns, some of which you've heard, some of which you haven't. As one I haven't heard before, but it's okay. But our worship director sings apparently very well in the key of D. So a lot of the songs are in the key of D. So there's a lot of B minors. So if you play guitar, you understand B minors is has a couple of different ways of being played on a guitar, and just trying to figure out the best way for it to happen as an electric guitar. And that's another thing, is the fact that I was actually kind of expecting maybe the mandolin, or maybe expecting the something different, like uh, you know an acoustic accompaniment where you're playing a lot of chords. No, she puts me on the electric guitar, which implies a little more soul, a little more lead. so so it's kind of funny. It's never done it before. She's only heard me play for 5 minutes on a couple of different instruments, and she puts me into there. That's okay. I mean, I'm up for it. I'm doing it. So every night I practiced one song night before last by Johnny Swim. Uh, and then last night I practiced, Thursday night, the Johnny Swim song, and then there's the old hymn song. And then tonight I will practice the Johnny Swim, the old hymn, and add another song. And just kind of, I'm just going to build up on it. And so hopefully she doesn't take out one that I'm getting really good at. Because by the time I'm done, the Johnny Swim song is going to be one I really know. Anyway, so that's what's happening. That's what our plans this weekend. Another thing is that because it's midsummer almost, it's not really, but it's July. So the cost of a fire pit has gone way down in our stores. I picked one up for $35, and it's a cheap one. So still have to put it together. So one of the things I want to do is tonight put that thing together. Pick up some firewood, just a little bundle of firewood, and have a little fire and some s'mores. Do that up tonight about 9 o'clock, 9:30 tonight. And I want us to do this in the front yard. And the reason I want to do it in the front yard is because that's where the neighbors will be. That's where people will come out and they'll see us doing that, and maybe they'll come and say hi, and maybe we'll get to know our neighbors a little bit more. Because one of the things I've noticed is that my house, the way it's designed, is you spend your time in your backyard, and then our living room is actually in the back. So we're not out front much, and so that's just something I've noticed as a general rule, that we just don't get to see our neighbors that much. And how are you supposed to tell them about the love of Christ if you don't see them? So, so one of the things is I picked up that fire pit. It was about $35, and so it was pretty cheap. A bundle of firewood, and I'll pick up some marshmallows, chocolate, graham crackers, and we'll do up some s'mores. And we'll do it out front, and I'll have enough to do something with the neighbors, and if they want to sit down and have s'mores with us, here, grab a stick, roast up a marshmallow. So that's kind of my plan for tonight. I'll get out there about 9:30. Be out there for an hour or so. I'll probably start the fire about 8:30, so it's decent fire by the time we get out there. At the same time, we have to think about it. I make dinner. I also need to practice the guitar. Take care of my wife. Fortunately, my son's 14. He'll take care of himself. He'll help out with the with putting together the fire pit. He will help with that. So several years ago, he kind of realized this is kind of like a really big Legos kit, right, Dad? Yeah, he figured that out at like 8 years old, and he loves putting this stuff together. So anyway, there it is, tab A and slot B. So without further ado, Psalm 129. This is the reason you tuned in, right? Another song of ascents. We have several more of these, and again, picture yourself um, on a pilgrimage. You've been traveling for days, weeks, maybe even months, and you're approaching the final end goal of your pilgrimage. And so you begin to sing these songs, and you're you're tuning your mentally to receive more for God. And I want to kind of bring up Dave Rubin says frequently that when he was in college, he went to a place, and he was expectant, he was hoping, he was ready to hear from God. Okay, and he didn't, and it's one of the reasons why he claims to be an atheist today. And you know, the question is, did he tune himself to that? Or was he just hoping? Okay, and so, God may have been speaking to him. Always remember, God does not, rarely, if ever, speaks in a booming voice. Okay, the Holy Spirit comes to us as a quiet voice, as a gentleman, that we have to silence ourselves and tune our own minds to a certain extent to hear Him. And if you're focused on your electronics, if you're focused on yourself, and if you want to hear the Spirit for you, you're probably not going to hear it. The Spirit your motives are wrong. Okay, and I think that's one of the things about that whole story that Dave Rubin gave, was his motive was, I'm ready, I want to hear it, and it was for his own sake. And oftentimes we do come to Jesus for our own sake, but when we start to hear the Spirit, it's at a time of need. It's at a time of when we need to hear it, not when we want to hear it, when we think we're ready. So anyway, so you're climbing the mountain, and you're singing these songs of prayer. And in this one, you begin with Psalm 129. They have greatly oppressed me from my youth, let Israel say. They have greatly oppressed me from my youth. But they have not gained the victory over me. Plowmen have plowed my back and made their furrows long. But the Lord is righteous. He has cut me free from the cords of the wicked. May all who hate Zion be turned back in shame. May they be like grass on the roof, which withers before it can grow. With it the reaper cannot fill his hands, nor the one who gathers fill his arms. May those who pass by not say, the blessings of the Lord be upon you. We bless you in the name of the Lord. Here is reading of the Lord. Thanks be to God. They have greatly oppressed me from my youth. Let Israel say, they have greatly oppressed me from my youth. Twice that's said. Twice. And anytime you hear things repeated, it's bringing importance. It's the all caps of the Bible, okay? It's shouting it to you without shouting. So, they have greatly oppressed me from my youth. Let Israel say, they have greatly oppressed me from my youth. But they have not gained the victory over me. Plowmen have plowed my back and made their furrows long. And that's, just the visuals that kind of produces. It's like, whoa, they've been riding you hard, and they've been, they've made your life difficult. But the Lord is righteous. He has cut me free from the cords of the wicked. Right? May all who hate Zion be turned back in shame. May they be like grass on the roof, which withers before it can grow. Now, we in the Western world rarely have a house with grass on it. But in this time, a roof could be a sod roof. Okay? A roof would have been, a house would have been made out of impacted clay, things like that. And so grass could grow on it in certain seasons. Okay? But it was hard-packed clay. And it was, if you remember the men who brought the man on a mat to Jesus, they dug through the roof to get to Jesus. Okay, so this is how houses were built in this area at this time. So it's an important thing to think about that. May they be like grass on the roof, which withers before it can grow. So obviously it doesn't grow very well. I mean, it's out there. It gets really hot, and it's just not good, and it's not considered good soil. So, but in the wet season, grass would grow a little bit. Okay, but it's worthless. It's useless. You can't do anything with it. It doesn't stick around, and it dies too quickly when the heat hits. May those who pass by not say, "The blessings of the Lord be upon you." We bless you in the name of the Lord. So may those who pass by not say that to those who hate Zion. Kind of harsh. Okay. So anyway, so what did you get out of this today? Did you get something out of it? And did you get some visuals about that? Did you think about that climb after weeks and months of travel on your pilgrimage? Did you get that sense of being with them as they climb the mountain at the end of their pilgrimage, as they tune themselves with these songs to the ascent to receive the love of God, and to be nourished by that. So anyway, that's all I have today, and it is Friday. I have to get in there. I've been sales, so I gotta sell. So here we go. You have a great day. God bless.